Welcome to Lee Pitts Live on the Radio, where we bring you interviews and music. Make this your lunchtime treat every day during the week. Mondays through Fridays from 12 noon to 1 p.m. You'll catch us here on 90.5 FM WGGM. I'm Lee Pitts, and I'll be your host throughout this lunchtime treat. So relax and catch us also streaming live on DunbarGospel.com. That's Lee Pitts Live on the radio. Let's get to it.
This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lee Pitts Live on the radio. I'm Lee Pitts, your host. And yes, it's the same Lee Pitts from the television show that's been on the air for 30 years. You can still catch our television show. We encourage you to catch us on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. on Channel 6, the CW. We have a fabulous show lined up for you today. Whether you're catching us during your lunch break, riding in your car, walking the park, or just sitting back, relaxing, and maxing. Great lineup. Get a chance to talk to Martin Lawley, the new city manager for the city of Fort Myers. Also get a chance to talk to Keith White, the program coordinator for the city of Fort Myers Police Athletic League. Then we'll get her perspective. That will be from Dr. Cindy Banyai, the Democratic candidate for District 19, Florida Congress. Also, we get a chance to talk to Roy Kennicks, the development consultant for Toll's Garden, developing about 140 townhomes right here in the Dunbar community for sale. Then we'll close out our show with a conversation with Terrellyn Watson, the city councilwoman for the city of Fort Myers. All that's happening right here on Lee Pitts Live on the radio. Let's get to it. Southwest Florida was so delighted to have here for the first time on the show. It certainly won't be his last time. The city manager for the city of Fort Myers, newly minted, as I said, Marty Lawley. Let me bump you in. Thanks for taking time out your busy schedule to sit here on Lee Pitts Live, man. We're thrilled to have you in the community.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Now, the city of Fort Myers is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. You're coming in with your ideas as well as listening to other people's ideas, and you have said and others have said that one of the high priorities is the redevelopment of the East Fort Myers area, Dunbar in particular, large minority community, affordable housing, infrastructure, and those types of things. When you've taken your ride through and start to talk to community leaders in the minority community, what has been your assessment so far?
Well, I think there's a lot of potential. Redevelopment is not easy. It requires the buy-in of local government, private sector, property owners. So you have to do a lot of communication and get everybody on the same page. You have to have a realistic plan to go by that people can buy into. Mm-hmm. If you don't get the buy-in from various stakeholders, it's hard to achieve success. Mm-hmm. So
did it surprise you all the media attention that you got coming in when a lot of people in the minority community were opposed to you being put in a position as the city manager, and none of the minorities who were city council people voted in favor of you being the city manager because they said that you may have been involved in some things that said that you had a biased racial tendency when you were in the Carolina area?
A little bit surprised, but you know, local government managers, we get involved in a lot of important issues, high-profile issues. So it's not unusual to take some shots, and a lot of times it's maybe the result of information being taken out of context. Mm-hmm. And that was certainly I think there were three specific issues mentioned, and in each case it was just the information was taken out of context, and it turned out to be a little bit misleading. But okay. So that's not the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, let's clear that up and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
One of the things is it was an employee who basically was saying that you discriminated on them on a promotion and things of that nature, but you were cleared of all that. I read in the paper. And then there was the other issue as it related to the dumping of toxic waste in the minority community that was happened under your watch. Speak to that.
Okay, that was in Brunswick County, which was a county I was in before my last county. I was county manager there for 12 years. Very fast-growing county in a coastal area, southeastern corner of North Carolina between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach, and fast-growing population, a lot of retirees moving in. You had the beach communities, 6 or 7 barrier islands on the coast where the beaches were, and in a large portion of the county is very rural. So we had a C&D landfill, construction and demolition landfill, primarily construction debris, et cetera, some organic material, trees, limbs, debris, storm debris, and that type thing were taken to our C&D landfill. And that landfill was nearing its capacity. So we had our engineers look at the options, whether we would find a new site for a new landfill, et cetera. So they looked at all the options and they said, it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to get a permit for a new construction and demolition landfill. We recommend that you expand the existing landfill, get a permit to go up and maybe expand the footprint. And the existing landfill was in a community, I think it was called Royal Oak Community, in a very rural area, very sparsely populated as far as homes. And that community was included white and African American residents. And there was the state requires you to put buffers in, et cetera. So the county commissioners actually decided that's the option to pursue. You won't find any city or county probably in America where the county manager decides where a landfill is going to go. So based on facts and environmental issues, potential environmental issues, because coastal, the main issue is the groundwater table is fairly low. So that was the engineering recommendation as our best option. The county commissioner said, let's pursue that option, and being a staff, and staff follows what the commissioners say, that's the direction we chose. Mm-hmm.
Looking back, good or bad decision?
Well, hindsight's always 20/20. But in a fast-growing county where you have a lot of growth and contractors need areas to dispose of their construction debris, and the knowledge that the county had that we monitor the landfill, you monitor the groundwater, strictly enforced by the state. So we ran it a first-class operation. So I think since it was our only option, I think it was it was not wrong to pursue that, looking at the requirement for the county to provide those services.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to the people in the minority community who say, I'm not so sure about Mr. Lawing as a city manager having us in his best interest? Go.
I think they just have to watch me at work and see my actions. If you look at the communities I've worked in, one municipality, the first manager's job I had was a small municipality, and the population was about 50-50 African American and white. The second community I went to, a little larger community in South Carolina, it was the same, about 50-50 population, and I always had a great working relationship in the community. Only one community I had fairly low minority population, and that was the county I talked about before, Brunswick County. But my most recent county, Guilford County, very diverse community, and I had great working relationships with the community, the business community, et cetera, and we had a very diverse workforce. So I think if they watch me in action, they'll see that there's nothing to be concerned about.
Let's talk law enforcement. Chief Diggs, African American, highly decorated chief. He's now, as we tape this show, he's in negotiations with the city of Fort Myers for a new contract. I would assume he had a clause in there that renewed for 2 more years if everybody agrees to it. Can you give us any update on your thoughts on Chief Diggs, his work, and his possibilities of remaining as the chief for the city of Fort Myers?
I think I've been real careful not to be too quick to judge all of our directors. Like I said, it's only been a month, but I like what I see with all of our directors, including the chief. The city council's been clear they'd like to extend. I would like to extend, and as far as the time schedule, my goal is to have that extension agreement on the city council agenda for the first meeting in August. So,
okay.
Yes.
And just for the sake of people who are viewing this show, we're taping this in mid-July. What's the holdup? Is there a holdup? What's the big stickler?
I don't know that there's any big stickler.
It's always the money. Come on, it's always the money.
Well, we're looking at that, and
if I were a guessing man, Mr. City Manager, I would say it's the money and the terms. How many years?
Those are 2 of the things that have been discussed, right. And so we're of course looking at it from working from the existing agreement,
right?
And what does it say? And what provisions are in that, and that'll be the basis for the proposed extension.
One of the things you've noticed when you walked in, though, whether you notice skin color or not, you've noticed that a lot of the department heads for the city of Fort Myers right now is really pretty diverse. Yes. You got a lot of diversity there. You got your fire department headed up by African American chief. You have your public works headed up by African American. The CRA, Community Redevelopment Agency, which is not a city, it's separate from the city, but it's still, like a co-partnership there. Michelle Hilton Terry, and then various other places. Mm-hmm. When you see that diversity there, do you feel good about that?
Yes. We actually had a diverse group of department directors in my last county. We actually increased the number of African American directors while I was there. And if we have vacancies going forward, what has worked for me in filling those vacancies is to assemble a diverse panel, probably some other department directors, et cetera, to sit on an interview panel and score the candidates. And for the most part, usually it's a consensus on who the best candidate is. Mm-hmm. And if you're honest about that and fair about it, things usually take care of themselves as far as diversity.
Mm-hmm. What's weak about our city when you came in and made an assessment compared to where you've been, something that we really need to fix? This is how we could change this and make it better. What was that thing that stood out?
I think internally with the city organization, there's a lot of room to improve communication and information sharing. And we've really already started working on that. The open door policy is part of it, but communication is key in any business, mm-hmm. and it holds true for local government. So we need to do better communicating internally with our management and all employees within and city council, give them better and more information to make their decisions with. And we could do a lot better with communicating with the public as well, to let them know what we're doing, the good things we're doing, most of the good things we're doing. But if we do something that didn't work out like we wanted to, we share that in a transparent way as well.
Mm-hmm. The city council has, I think, about 3 new people on the council, a new mayor, 2 new city council people. You got some old city council people who've been there for a while, particularly the African Americans in Ward 1, 2, and 3. They've been there for a while. They, I said early on, did not vote in favor of hiring you. How has your conversation been with those African American city council people since you've been here about 5-6 weeks? Councilman Johnny Streets.
Very good. I meet with some of the city council members schedule regular weekly meetings with me. Mr. Streets is one of those, and we've met every week since I've been here, and we've had some very good conversations, and I'm getting a good feel for what his ideas and priorities are, and it gives me an opportunity to update him on some of the things I'm seeing and some of my ideas as well. So very productive.
Feeling good about that relationship?
Yes, sir.
Teresa Watkins Brown.
Do not have regular meetings with Councilwoman Watkins Brown, but share a lot of information through email communications, et cetera. Speak to her at events and share information, and very cordial, and look forward to.
Why no meeting?
I don't know. That's the option of the of each city council member. Mm-hmm. But when I have something that's urgent to talk about, then I will schedule a meeting and ask them to come in.
Carolyn Watson.
Very good. Have had several not scheduled meetings, but several informal meetings with Carolyn, and she's been very helpful, sharing ideas, viewpoints of her personal viewpoints and of the community to help give me insight as to what I will need to do to be successful and help her with her goals and priorities within her, I said district, ward.
Okay. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Let me bump you out this way.
All right.
Stay right there. So saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Marty Lawin and all the fine people who are associated with running the city of Fort Myers who are doing it. We'll be right back.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
We want Trump! 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 We want Trump!
You got it wrong for death, who you gonna call for the claim? Call Joe. You had a slip and fall, and it's not your fault, but you don't know who to blame. Call Joe. You got injured on the job, and your workman's compensation still ain't came. Call Joe. You was in a car wreck, and you searching for the best, I can think of one name. Call Joe. Joe North. 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 Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe.
Joe North has been faithfully serving victims across Florida for 30 years, specializing in vehicle injury, negligent security, wrongful death, personal injury, workman's compensation, and medical malpractice. If you're looking for the best, call Joe for your consultation at 239-337-1191.
I'm Attorney Joe North, and I approve this message. My office is in Fort Myers, and I'll do my best for you.
If you or a loved one is living with a serious illness, Hope Hospice is here to help. As your local not-for-profit hospice, we've provided care for more than 40 years. Families often tell us they wish they had found Hope Hospice sooner. We're here to support you now and throughout the journey so you can enjoy more moments with the people you love. 239-482-4673 or visit hopehospice.org to learn more.
I'm Dr. Cindy Banier, Democratic candidate for U.S. House of Representatives, Florida Congressional District 19. I'm a teacher and small business owner. I'm fighting for the things we need: clean water, good health, and good jobs. I'm here with you and for you. Let's create a Southwest Florida where the sun shines on everyone. Send me to Congress to work for you. Check your voter registration and vote for me, Dr. Cindy Banier.
I'm Dr. Cindy Banier, and I approve this message.
The Fort Myers Community Redevelopment Agency is redeveloping Fort Myers for the future by working to restore local landmarks to strengthen the community. We are part of a public-private partnership to restore McCollum Hall as a neighborhood destination. And together with the Southwest Florida Community Foundation, the CRA transformed the old train station into a high-tech public space called the Collaboratory. Fort Myers CRA, advancing businesses, transforming communities, redeveloping Fort Myers for the future.
No more
You're listening to Lee Pitts Live on radio on WGGM 90.5 FM.
Make a list of the things he'll do for you. Ain't no risk now. Let his love rain down on you. He will wash away the past so that we may start anew. Yeah. Rising up on my shoulders, getting stronger as we older. All I wanna do is serve him. He's the light that breathes in me. In your word you said forever, we would always be together.
All right, Southwest Florida, welcome back. Big shout out to my man Skinny Sean. Be sure to check him out with Ice Baths on Chunky Sunday out there at Clemente Park. Speaking of Clemente Park, I got a gentleman here who's no stranger to all the parks in the area. He's a parks and recreation guru, my good friend and brother of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, Keith White. Welcome. Good to get you here, Keith.
Hey, welcome, Lee, to the PAL facility. I appreciate you having me on.
Man, when I see you with that PAL on your hat, that PAL on your chest, I know you're in the right place, because whenever we see you, you're dealing with the youth. From the first time I met you, people don't know I've been knowing you about. It's been at least 30 years, right?
Yes.
Seems like it was yesterday, doesn't it?
Well, I wish.
We're here at the PAL program, which is a part of the Youth Relations Center. I want you to kind of summarize to our viewing audience how all of this comes together and where we are and this nice facility.
Okay, this facility came about as a vision of our new chief, Chief Diggs, when he came into town. He's a PAL kid, so he was real strong on making sure that that concept of his vision was fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually pursued this facility. We already had our boxing program, which is state and nationally known
Mm-hmm.
as a part of this facility. So as putting us all together now with the youth relations team, and then also we're also providing other programs in the community, but we have a building that we can actually call our home. So this is the vision of bridging the gap between the police department and our community by having this facility.
The concept, what happens here, we mentioned boxing, but it's a wide range of youth activities that are taking place here, and you guys put some emphasis on academics as well, right?
Yeah, we have, as always, the core is going to be education, giving the kids an opportunity to come here, provide tutors and assistants to help them. But the thing about it is we actually want to get our officers involved in that concept as well. So when these kids come in, we want to have them to actually sit down with a tutor if necessary, but we want to have a officer as well be a commandant for them as well, so kids can actually see them in a different light. That's the whole concept here. We also have youth groups that come in from the community as well, and we teach them different programs like Know the Law. We take them through scenarios, skits, so they can actually see, our office in a different view. So that's one of the assets for this new facility.
PAL is here. The Fort Myers Police Athletic League, or PAL, as it is popularly called, is an important part of Chief Diggs' community engagement initiative to bring sports programs to young children and teenagers that promote strong character, positive life skills. Sports include football, basketball, and boxing programs. There's also cheerleading.
When we say Police Athletic League, that is really all primarily about police officers interacting with the youth, and it's a nationwide program. It's not just here in Fort Myers. Give people some scope, because I know when I was a little child, I played football for PAL. I didn't play baseball because I was scared. I mean, I had a bad experience, but I ended up, swimming and all that other stuff in the PAL program. Once I tried to catch that ground ball, man, it came by my eye. Yeah. I said, no baseball for me, but good luck to everybody who played baseball, because the guys in the neighborhood, they got to travel all over on airplanes and things that are coming out of the projects in Birmingham as a part of going to the World Series for PAL. Go ahead.
That's a good thing you brought that up, because that's what PAL is about. It's getting the kids out of the community, giving them exposure. We're affiliated with what they call Florida State PAL. Mm-hmm. Also, we're affiliated with National PAL. The mentoring components that we're going to offer our kids will give them opportunities to go to week-long trainings, be on the steering committee to set up some of these events that kids actually put together and then attend and actually mentor each other. That's state and national. That's one of the things that I like about the exposure that national and state PAL gives us an opportunity to give our kids in Fort Myers a chance to leave Fort Myers, see some kids like them, actually see these kids doing productive things, and then come back home and be the voice.
Now, right now, we're sitting out here in East Fort Myers in what people may know as Shady Oaks, and there's something else with this park. What's the park name right here, this big park close to?
The one across the street is Terry Park.
Right, people familiar with Terry Park. The fact that we're sitting out here, is that some particular reason we're out here? Only people from this area can take advantage of this facility, or you got people coming in from everywhere?
Well, PAL is very diverse. We have people coming all the way from Cape Coral, Alva. Our boxing program definitely exposes us to a lot of different people from the community. Our football program, also people are coming across the bridge, you know, just to be a part. It's the PAL brand. It's our time in Fort Myers to show PAL people that PAL is a strong program, and also it's going to, you know, bridge the gap between our officers in the community. So, I mean, I'm up for the job.
How does one become a part of the PAL program? People are looking at this now, they're saying, hey, I want my children over there. I want them to be a part of this. What's happening here that in the summertime? What do? They go on field trips? We see all the games and different video that's showing on the screen, but what are some things, and how much money I got to pay? Go.
Okay. Right now, there's no price for any of our programs. We also let our kids, you know, be a part of it if they need a scholarship for some of our fee-based programs, which is football and cheer. We'll actually sponsor that. But coming here to this facility, we're not going to charge them. We want them to come here because there's a need. This program is going to be targeted for middle and high school. One of the gaps we have in the community, most programs in the community serve underage kids all the way up to 14. We want to provide a different gap for them. We want to give them a chance to come here, use this arcade room, use this education room, use boxing, and some of the other opportunities we offer with mentoring, financial literacy, some of the things we're going to be doing. We're going to have a real diverse program, and we're going to listen to the kids to tell us what they need, and then we'll adjust it to what they need.
All right, man. Well, I like to compliment you. I know you as it relates to PAL. It looks like you've been doing this about 4 years.
2.5 now.
Right, seems like 4.
Yeah.
But you've always been working with youth, and we're just fortunate to have you in this particular capacity, somebody who knows the community from the grassroots level. You know people up in the ivory towers, and you know people who are at the lower end trying to make ends meet, and you can relate to everybody and bring them together. So keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, Lee. Like I said, appreciate you having me here.
All right, let me bump you out, Frat.
All right.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
You got it wrong for death, who you gonna call for the claim? Call Joe. You had a slip and fall, and it's not your fault, but you don't know who to blame. Call Joe. You got injured on the job, and your workman's compensation still ain't came. Call Joe. You was in a car wreck, and you're searching for the best, I can think of one name. Call Joe. Joe North, 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 Joe North. Go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe.
Joe North has been faithfully serving victims across Florida for 30 years, specializing in vehicle injury, negligent security, wrongful death, personal injury, workman's compensation, and medical malpractice. If you're looking for the best, call Joe for your consultation at 239-337-1191.
I'm Attorney Joe North, and I approve this message. My office is in Fort Myers, and I'll do my best for you.
Do you need help caring for an aging loved one? Get the support you need to keep them safely at home with Hope PACE, a program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. Hope PACE helps seniors as well as their caregivers and families. They provide medical care, transportation, and support by phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 239-985-2499, or visit hopepace.org. That's 239-985-2499 or hopepace.org.
I'm Dr. Cindy Banier, Democratic candidate for U.S. House of Representatives, Florida Congressional District 19. I'm a teacher and small business owner. I'm fighting for the things we need: clean water, good health, and good jobs. I'm here with you and for you. Let's create a Southwest Florida where the sun shines on everyone. Send me to Congress to work for you. Check your voter registration and vote for me, Dr. Cindy Banier.
I'm Dr. Cindy Banier, and I approve this message.
The Community Redevelopment Agency was always very supportive of anybody bringing a new and unique business. So they helped everybody along to try to navigate what you got to figure out in regards to licensing and seating and store opening hours. And they also helped a lot with the establishment of the events that are going on in downtown. We have Art Fest, Art Walk, Music Walk, Bike Night, numerous events throughout the year.
Fort Myers Community Redevelopment Agency. Growing businesses, rebuilding communities, redesigning Fort Myers for the future.
For those of you that think that gospel music has gone too far, you think we've gotten too radical with our message. Well, I got news for you. You ain't heard nothing yet. And if you don't know, now you know. Glory, glory! Woo! You better put them hands together and act like you know up in here. Chief Pete! Lately I've been going through something that's really got me down. Put your hands together. Church up in here. Come on, chat. I can't explain it. I can't obtain it. Jesus, your love is so amazing. It gets me high up to the sky. Hallelujah. And when I think about your goodness, it makes me wanna stomp. You can't take my joy, devil. Makes me clap. Makes me clap my head. Check. Makes me wanna dance and stomp. Oh, you better put them hands together and have a Holy Ghost party with me. My brother, can't you see? I've got the victory. Stomp. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm more than a conqueror. Can I get a witness up in here? Woo! Lately I've been going through something that's really got me down. Put your hands together.
Hi, this is Dr. Cindy Banier with Perspectives. I'm so happy to be here with you today for our very first episode of this brand new monthly segment here on Lee Pitts Live. For the first thing that we're going to talk about here, it's voting. Right now in the U.S. House of Representatives, they just passed the For the People Act, which is designed to preserve our rights to vote. It's so extremely important. We know how many people across the United States have fought and died for the right to the ballot. And we have seen over the past years rollbacks in those rights, a new Jim Crow era, especially across the southern part of the United States. This is especially true after the Supreme Court knocked down parts of the Voting Rights Act that allowed states who had enacted Jim Crow era laws in the past to prevent people from voting to be able to do the exact same thing again. These pre-clear recommendations meant that states had to have any legislation affecting the vote be approved by federal officials. As soon as that provision was knocked down by the Supreme Court, we saw over 253 different pieces of legislation across 43 states in the United States that sought to put provisions on our voting rights, including here in the state of Florida under SB 80. That provision looks to ensure that we do not have SB 80 in the state of Florida looks to curtail our ability to have access to the ballot through making it more difficult for people to have vote by mail, to eliminate the drop boxes, which have been so pivotal to voters in the COVID era. And it just frankly makes it easier for people to get on in their lives and participate in our democratic processes. I, for one, am a big proponent of making it easier to vote. This is part of our democracy. And through my work here across Southwest Florida, I've come across too many times people who have been disenfranchised by our system. And every time there is a proposal to make some change to the voting registration process, to the voting process overall, that makes it just a little bit more difficult for people to have access to that ballot, we discourage people from voting. It's hard enough to convince people who have been so thoroughly disenfranchised by our system to be convinced to vote that it matters. And that's what really gets me going about all of these changes in the states and makes me a proponent of the For the People Act at the national level. I want every American, especially everyone here in Southwest Florida, to get excited about our democracy and to see their place in it. We shouldn't be making it more complicated for people to vote. We should be making it easier. So this is why I am in support of having more access to the ballot, having more time, more early voting. I'm especially opposed to ending Sunday voting, which has been so very important for voter outreach, especially in communities of color across the United States with initiatives like Souls to the Polls. Some of the initiatives in various states like Georgia look to stop that type of activity, so no voting on Sunday. Can you imagine? I want to see more ability to access the vote. And another thing that I heard from people across Southwest Florida is they want to have trust in their politicians. And they also want their politicians to follow the rules. They don't want to have people who are bought and sold. That's another thing that H.R. 1, the For the People Act, takes care of. It helps to close some of those loopholes that keep politicians in the pockets of big corporate donors. It puts additional restrictions on PAC dollars and transparency around who's donating to those PACs. You ever seen those ads on TV during the campaign cycle that are usually pretty nefarious, and then it says paid for by such and such PAC, and it's not the candidate? That's the stuff that I'm talking about. That is what the For the People Act is going to help take care of. So you will know who those such and such PACs are that are pulling millions of dollars in to sway your vote one way or another, so that they can get their candidate of preference up to Congress to vote the way that they want, not the way that somebody who is working for the people wants. And that's what this is all about. Additional things in the For the People Act that will ensure that we have better access to the vote is things like automatic voter registration and streamlining of those processes, and the ability to make sure that these states who are enacting these laws against voter access have a federal law that they have to comply with. Other important provisions in the For the People Act include automatic voter registration, online registration, and unanimous felons' rights restoration. We know that that is important to the people in the state of Florida, as we saw by the referendum and the state amendment that allowed returning citizens the right to vote. Now, we unfortunately had a state legislature that looked to essentially curtail that through allowing for the implementation of fees that outsizedly affected people of color and low-income people who are returning citizens, because they oftentimes did not have the capacity to navigate the system nor pay the fees once they even found out, if they were able to find out the amount of fees that they owed. They didn't have the capacity to pay them. And that is not appropriate. When people have paid their time, they should be able to come back and participate in our democratic processes. It shouldn't be just up to the wealthy folks who can navigate the system. Additionally, we have heard a lot in this past election cycle about election fraud. I'm here to tell you that anybody who uses that as an excuse to knock down initiatives to improve access to the vote, such as the For the People Act and H.R. 1, they are simply wrong. So in addition to ensuring that returning citizens have the access to the ballot, we want to hold our politicians accountable. And that's another thing that is in the For the People Act that I want you to know about. It ensures that presidents have to release their tax returns so we know if they are engaging in fraudulent activity and have massive connections with foreign donors. In fact, that's another loophole that's closed through the For the People Act. It actually closes a loophole on the capacity for foreign donors to donate to super PACs and increases transparency around that. Additionally, it holds all three branches of government to higher ethical standards, in addition to actually following through with some of the FEC complaints that we know sometimes just languish in our government. I think it's additionally important that we have the capacity to have publicly financed campaigns so that we do not have representatives that are beholden to those corporate donors. That's another thing that is taken care of in the For the People Act. Imagine if grassroots candidates like me had a better access to the ballot and didn't have to fight with millions of dollars of dark money coming in fighting against them. One other thing that's extremely important that I want you to know about the For the People Act is that it eliminates partisan gerrymandering. That's something that I think everybody on both sides of the aisle can agree to. If we just had fairly drawn districts instead of a lot of Republicans doing this and Democrats doing that, we would have a lot more confidence in our public officials up and down the board. So that's it for me today. I just wanted to express to you what I think is important out of the For the People Act. I'm looking forward to it being passed through the Senate and signed into law by President Joe Biden because I think our democracy is worth fighting for. Thanks for joining me here today. Stick around for more Lee Pitts Live.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
We want Trump! 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 We want Trump!
You got it wrong for death, who you gonna call for the claim? Call Joe. You had a slip and fall, and it's not your fault, but you don't know who to blame. Call Joe. You got injured on the job, and your workman's compensation still ain't came. Call Joe. You was in a car wreck, and you're searching for the best, I can think of one name. Call Joe. Joe North. 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 Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe. Go, 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 Joe.
Joe North has been faithfully serving victims across Florida for 30 years, specializing in vehicle injury, negligent security, wrongful death, personal injury, workman's compensation, and medical malpractice. If you're looking for the best, call Joe for your consultation at 239-337-1191.
I'm Attorney Joe North, and I approve this message. My office is in Fort Myers, and I'll do my best for you.
If you or a loved one is living with a serious illness, Hope Hospice is here to help. As your local not-for-profit hospice, we've provided care for more than 40 years. Families often tell us they wish they had found Hope Hospice sooner. We're here to support you now and throughout the journey so you can enjoy more moments with the people you love. 239-482-4673 or visit hopehospice.org to learn more.
You know, without the assistance of the Fort Myers CRA, both in terms of the tax increment financing incentives, but also the assistance that they gave through the process of getting our permits and our entitlements, we wouldn't have decided to move forward with the projects that we're working on within the CRA area. You know, it really provided the ability to build something that made the numbers work for us, and then actually just getting through navigating the process with the city and the building department. It was really instrumental in getting the projects underway.
Fort Myers Community Redevelopment Agency. Growing businesses, rebuilding communities, redesigning Fort Myers for the future.
Father, help your children and don't let them fall by the side of the road, and teach them to love one another, that heaven might find a place in their hearts. 'Cause Jesus is love. He won't let you down, and I know He's forever in my heart.
All right, Southwest Florida, we're back here on Lee Pitts Live. We're here at the Luminary Hotel, coming to you live. Accommodations here have just been great. I got a chance to stay at this hotel downtown Fort Myers, and I tell you, they did us proud. Can't wait to get in this setting one of Southwest Florida's preeminent leaders. He's also a recipient of the Lee Pitts Live Person of the Year 2020 award, one Roy Kennicks. Roy, welcome to Lee Pitts Live.
Thank you, Lee. It's always great to be on Lee Pitts Live.
All right, man, it's great to get you here.
Okay.
And whenever you come on the show, you're always up to something, Roy.
Thank you, thank you.
And we have outstanding development that's taking place here in the area, and you are the development consultant. First of all, what does the development consultant do for Toes Garden?
Well, the development consultant is involved in all aspects of Toes Garden, everything from participating in the acquisition of financing to involvement of individuals and the purchasing of the units that are going to be available for home ownership.
Home ownership. Now, what if you had to say in a nutshell what Toll's Garden is, summarize Toll's Garden.
Well, I could say Toll's Garden is a unique mixed income development for home ownership. What that means, in effect, is that there are units that are available for individuals at market price, and also, secondly, for individuals who will need assistance in being able to acquire mortgages without spending too much of their income for housing.
Right now, you are starting to take applications and qualify people for home ownership in Toll's Garden. 2 questions. Where is Toll's Garden going to be located? It's going to be brand new development. And what's the process of getting qualified for a unit through your corporation?
Okay, first thing first, as you indicated, location. The location is at the intersection of Veronica Shoemaker Boulevard and Highland Park. That is in the Dunbar, East Fort Myers area. Persons who are interested in becoming qualified to purchase, we are now in the process of providing opportunities for individuals to secure pre-sales right now, and that involves helping them to put together financial applications to lenders who are in the end going to provide the money for persons to be able to purchase the units.
I know you're real excited at the interest that the mortgage lenders have been showing. You talked to one mortgage lender I know that's got a $4,000 grant for down payment and closing costs.
Right, that's going to be very important because
that was Regions Bank. Go ahead.
Right, and we appreciate your assistance in helping us to make contact with leadership people there who are involved in the lending process. And what Lee said is very important, because for individuals whose incomes are low to moderate, they will need down payment assistance in order for their mortgage payments not to exceed any more than 1/3 of their incomes. We don't want people to have to sacrifice funding for their children, for food, clothing, in order to live in our units. We will have a complex of down payment assistance programs provided by the local government, City of Fort Myers, Lee County government, as well as banks that have also stepped in to make available down payment assistance. That is not money you have to repay. Mm-hmm. That is money that makes the housing affordable to you with your budget and with your family income.
Who is the developer on the project? Who's building the units? I think you have a well-accomplished builder as well, right? Developer.
Yes, we do. We're very pleased to have with us as the person with immediate authority and responsibility for the structure, for the building. We have Robert McFarland, who's probably best known to this community as a guy who's a developer of luxury housing. But we researched his background before we got involved with him in this collaboration, and we learned that he also, in addition to being an effective developer of luxury housing, also within his portfolio, that is to say his body of work, has included development of low and moderate income housing.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean to the community, particularly the Dunbar community, East Fort Myers, to have a wonderful, brand new, affordable housing development to come into the community?
Well, I missed saying to you also that in collaboration with Robert McFarland, we also have FJ Sales Services and Marketing, which is headed by former Councilwoman Frankie Jennings. This is a company that's headed by a female minority to be exact, an African-American woman. And that company has immediate responsibility, as they say in the public administration schools, authority commensurate with responsibility for the marketing and for the sales.
I see.
So a big piece of that will include commitment to create maximum opportunity for minorities and women to be able to participate in the economic benefits that accrue from a project like this.
That's very important to this whole process, to make sure minorities get an opportunity to participate.
Exactly. We're not going to pay lip service to that. Mm-hmm. And it's not a matter of happenstance.
What does this mean to have a development like that in East Fort Myers, in Dunbar?
It's going to mean one thing. It's going to mean 140 units that will be available for home ownership for residents in Dunbar and East Fort Myers. At the same time, though, we don't want anybody to think that this is just for residents in Dunbar and East Fort Myers. Yes, it is for residents in Dunbar and East Fort Myers, and we're proud to articulate that. At the same time, it's available to people throughout the community who are interested in purchasing a really nice townhouse or villa at a reasonable price.
When do you anticipate groundbreaking?
I anticipate groundbreaking somewhere near from mid to late April.
Okay. What's the price range of the units?
Well, the price ranges of the units will range from 178,000, could be less, probably not more. We've not settled yet with firmness the final cost of the units, and the top range would be around 240. But the thing to keep in mind is that if we're talking about $178,000, there are subsidies that will be available to you, which will allow your final mortgage to be significantly less than that. So that's the big thing that we have here, that the people will be able to whose incomes are no more than 80% of the area median income, which is about $55,000. Those individuals who would not ordinarily be able to pay that much, that is to say $178,000 for a two-bedroom unit, will be able to get them because why? Those subsidies will reduce the mortgage cost.
Yeah, take
of
that
those
178
units.
down. Okay. They'll get all that information when they connect with you guys.
Right, exactly.
Who are some of the individuals involved in FJ services?
Oh man,
sales.
We've got an outstanding crew of individuals who've been with us in this from, as they say, from the get. Okay, we got, for example, we have Prince Jones, who's our managing broker, long history, African American.
Next person.
We have Yvonne Hill, who's head of marketing, and we have Tamika Seaton, who's our public information specialist to get the word out, and we have Carolyn Norris, outstanding former head of home ownership counseling for Hawk.
She knows that inside and out. That
That's right.
whole
That's right.
aspect.
Yeah, well respected. Okay.
You mentioned early on about opportunities for minorities. I want you to expound on that a bit.
I'm glad. I'm happy to expound on that. You know, what we've done to make sure, well, the city has an ordinance which requires at least 15% of the business to go to certified minorities and women. Now, that is not something that just happens accidentally. We have in place one of the premier proponents and professionals in the area of minority outreach. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. Lee Ford, Ori Lee Ford. He's in the box with us. He is our minority participation coordinator. He's going to make sure that the word gets out and there's technical assistance and whatever hand-holding that's needed to assure minority, African American, especially persons who live within the Dunbar, East Fort Myers area, that they'll be able to get certified, that they'll get other technical assistance, that includes financing as well, so they'll be able to participate. So we got a man on board who's being paid to do this.
What's your timeline in terms of when you hope to have all of those units sold and that whole thing just selling on down the road?
I wish I could say next week, but that's not true. Okay. Well, our timeline, we started the process with pre-sales, right? We feel that we can have all 141 of those units sold, within a worst case scenario, well, let me say this, between 12 and 18 months.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
now,
12 and 18
people who are
months.
listening to this interview right now, whether they're watching it on television, on social media, and everywhere else, they need to start off by making that phone call, getting in touch with you guys, and then starting that process. It's not too early right now to
No,
get
it's
started.
not too early. Let me be accurate on the phone number. It's 239-332-3480. That's a correction from what I said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Well, Roy, I tell you, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Looking forward to getting you back as this project moves on down to the groundbreaking and things of that nature. Keep up the good work. You've always been a stellar leader in our community, and Toes Garden is going to be exemplary, and it's going to represent all the ideas of Roy Kinnick's FJ Services and Sales, and all other people associated with it.
Well, Lee, thank you. As they used to say in the 60s, right on. Okay.
All right. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they are usually interrupted by those like Roy Kennex and all the people who are associated with the Toes Garden development that's taking East Fort Myers and Dunbar by storm, who are doing it. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
You got it wrong for death, who you gonna call for the claim? Call Joe. You had a slip and fall, and it's not your fault, but you don't know who to blame. Call Joe. You got injured on the job, and your workman's compensation still ain't came. Call Joe. You was in a car wreck, and you're searching for the best, I can think of one name. Call Joe. Joe North, 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 Joe North. Go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe, go, 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 Joe.
Joe North has been faithfully serving victims across Florida for 30 years, specializing in vehicle injury, negligent security, wrongful death, personal injury, workman's compensation, and medical malpractice. If you're looking for the best, call Joe for your consultation at 239-337-1191.
I'm Attorney Joe North, and I approve this message. My office is in Fort Myers, and I'll do my best for you.
Do you need help caring for an aging loved one? Get the support you need to keep them safely at home with Hope PACE, a program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. Hope PACE helps seniors as well as their caregivers and families. They provide medical care, transportation, and support by phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 239-985-2499 or visit hopepace.org. That's 239-985-2499 or hopepace.org.
Hi, I'm Tisha Green, owner of Something Blue TG. Something Blue is a luxury wedding and event planning company for clients that value creativity and quality. We draw our inspiration from our clients and their stories to create one-of-a-kind weddings and specialty events. We pride ourselves in our event management comprehension. We know the smallest details can have the most impact. It's what enables us to provide a stress-free planning experience. 239-357-2809 or somethingbluetg.net.
Southwest Florida, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live. We are here, Johnny on the spot, as the media sponsor for the grand opening and the ribbon cutting for the Haitian American Coalition of Southwest Florida's headquarters, located here at the Landmark Building on Evans Avenue in Fort Myers. Also located in this building is a magnificent business organization, Jaquette and Associates Bookkeeping and Business Services. Right here, Jaquette. Beatrice Jaquette is the owner of that. I got that in, Beatrice. All right. Sitting next to me is a renowned city councilwoman, Terrell Watson. We're so thrilled to have her here for the ribbon cutting and to come out and show her respects. Terrell, welcome to Lee Pitts Live.
Thank you, Lee.
It's good to get you here.
Yes, it is.
Terrell, are we in your ward?
Yes, we are.
What ward would that be?
Ward 3.
Say it again.
Ward 3.
Ward 3, and I know in 2022, I'm assuming that you'll be running again for re-election in Ward 3. Ward
Yes,
3.
I will.
Okay. Describe Ward 3 to us in a nutshell. What is, when you, like, if you want to say Ward 3 is this is what it's all about. Go ahead and describe Ward 3 for us.
Well, Ward 3 is a community of loving people, business people. We have our Stars Complex that's in Ward 3 that I'm very proud of. And now we have new Jacquette and Associates here, which I'm very proud of, Beatrice for the Haitian community. My ward consists of different nationalities.
That's what I'm noticing, because when you said I was in your ward, I'm like, whoa, way over here? So you got everything, all races, creed, and colors. Go ahead.
All the way out to the college off Winkler. So
Okay.
all of that is mine of Ward 3.
All right, let me slow this down. Give us your borders for Ward 3.
Okay, it starts with Lincoln Boulevard at the corner of Lincoln and Ford, all the way to the baseball stadium downtown, where our new Midtown will be located.
The Red Sox, old Red Sox Stadium.
And that's actually going up towards Winkler. There's a pharmacy on the corner of Winkler and 41. Now, I do have right now a little small area in this county that we're going to annex in.
Wow.
The annexation will be coming maybe before the elections. I'm not sure, but we have a small part.
Is the way that your ward is so spread out, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Because it sounds like when you describe your ward, it best represents the whole diversity of the city.
Yes, it does. I have all nationalities in my ward. And
Now, why did you feel it was important that you be here today for this ribbon cutting?
well, Jock, Beatrice is a great friend of mine. And anytime a business comes in my ward, I like to be there to welcome that business in. And it's a wonderful thing she's doing here.
Okay. The turnout here is spectacular.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if you got a chance to go upstairs yet. Have you gone upstairs yet?
Yes, I have.
Tell people how nice it is on the third floor.
It's very nice on the third floor. When I say the office is really laid out and nice, this will be a place you need to visit. If you need any help with the Haitian community, you would need to come here to Beatrice and Associates. It's really nice, and she's a great person.
Now, Terrell, when businesses establish themselves in our city, in your ward and in our city, take up all of this empty office space, bringing in tax dollars and revenues to our city, tell us how that helps our city become a better place.
Well, yes, it does. It helps our city become a better place because of opening up new businesses. Usually new businesses come with jobs. It comes with revenue for the community. You know, we spend our dollars, they give back. So when a business comes into our city, especially in Ward 3, I like to be there, I like to know, I like to welcome that business in. And anything that I can help them with, I'll surely.
I want to compliment you on such an outstanding progress that has been made at the Stars Complex. I know you told me you met me there, I don't know if during my swimming world days or whatever, but that place had, under the leadership of Amber and all the staff there, I just see a complete 180 turnaround in terms of activity taking place, usage of the building, and I know behind the scenes that's been something you've been championing, right?
Yes, definitely. Under the new leadership of Amber Smith Ware, yes, Amber is a great person. She's changed the dynamics of the Stars. She actually brought in a lot of new projects, educational-wise, athletics. She supports everybody in the community as far as our youth doing different things. We just now got a new softball team for our girls, the Hurricanes, and Amber supports that 100%. So the Stars program I'm very proud of. Now, looking ahead, I'm going to be even prouder once we get that Hurricane building that sustained Hurricane 3. So the expansion of the Stars, that's what I'm looking forward to. Because that's going to help with the community as far as
Is that in the budget
shelter.
yet? I think that's that hurricane shelter, right?
Yes.
It's in the budget for 2000, or we working on it?
Well, we're working on it. I'm pushing more for it because of we need that in the city. We don't have one. The closest one is South Fort Myers High School. But actually for the Dunbar community, we don't have that.
Okay. Well, we're supporting that. Again, I want to thank you for coming by. I want you to know I'm always a friend of yours. You're a friend of the show. You're lucky to come on. I'll be reaching out to you to get you in studio down the road, okay?
Okay.
Terrell and Watson on Leaf Hits Live. I finally made it. That's an inside joke for me between me and Terrell.
Right.
We'll be right back.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hello, my name is Tracy McMillian. I'm the fire chief of the City of Fort Myers Fire Department. And one of the things I'd like to actually just bring to your attention is a new technology that we have out in our fire department. It's called Community Connect. What we're trying to do is connect with you, our community. With this particular software, we have the opportunity to be able to know who lives in your residence, what type of dogs or animals who you have inside your home. So God forbid there's an emergency, we know what we're looking for. So if we know that you have a wife and 2 kids, we know, hey look, where's mom, where's dad, where's the 2 kids? And if you have a little pet, we know to look for your pet as well. Community Connect is a great technology for us as a fire department for emergencies to be able to connect with you all and give you much better service. Please sign up for Community Connect. We're your local fire department and we care dearly about you.
Hello, I'm Amber Ware, Senior Center Manager for the City of Fort Myers STARS Division. At the City of Fort Myers STARS, we focus on education, recreation, wellness, and a holistic approach that engages the citizens of our Fort Myers community. Please join us as we continue to positively transform our community. We look forward to hearing from you. Drop by or visit our website.
Hi, I'm Kevin Boyd, Commander, American Legion, Post 38, downtown Fort Myers. We are proud of 100 years in the Fort Myers community. Our mission is clear: to support our veterans in a holistic way. Post 38 offers a wide range of services to veterans, such as assisting acquiring their DD-214, emergency assistance with utility bills and food. The general public can also utilize this wonderful facility for social events such as weddings, receptions, parties, meetings, and much more. We have a full-service kitchen and bar. Our parking holds over 100 cars. Inside capacity is 269. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., citizens can come and get a free bag of groceries. American Legion, Post 38, here for the community.
Boy, I tell you, this has been a lot of fun. It has come to this. Today we end, but we return every Monday through Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. That's Leaf Hits Live on the radio, where we bringing you interviews, smooth soul, and some great music. It's right here on 90.5 FM, WGGM. You can also catch us streaming at dunbargospel.com. We'll leave you now with these beautiful songs.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.